Hello and welcome to the special explainer by Sports Today. Kolkata Knight Riders versus Mumbai Indians saw a freakish exhibition of batting by Pat Cummins, who smashed the joint fastest 50 in the history of the IPL. In 1 over, Pat Cummins hammered 35 runs of Daniel Sams. The over included 4 sixes, 2 boundaries and a no ball which went for 2 runs. With that exhibition of batting, Pat Cummins ensured Kolkata Knight Riders won and ensured Mumbai Indians started the IPL 2022 on an even terrible note. For Daniel Sams, he joins a not so elite league of bowlers who have been hammered all over the park in the IPL. Sams' 35 runs in 1 over is actually the 3rd worst in the history of the tournament. In this explainer, we are going to talk about the bowlers who have had the worst experience in 1 over of their IPL career. I start with Prashant Parameswaran. In 2011, he was playing for Kochi Tuskers, Kerala. In a game against Royal Challengers Bangalore at the M. Chinnaswamy Stadium, Chris Gayle took him apart and that became the most expensive over in IPL history. 37 runs came of that over and Gayle was at his absolute best. 10 years later in IPL 2021, even the purple cap winner, the bowler with the most wickets, was not spared. Harshal Patel, playing for Royal Challengers Bangalore, was hit for 37 runs by Ravindra Jadeja in the game against Chennai Super Kings. Harshal Patel conceded 5 sixes. At one point, Jadeja almost did the 6 sixes feat that Yuvraj had done in the 2007 World T20. But Harshal Patel went for 37 runs. I had already talked about Daniel Sams' 35 runs. Below him are 2 bowlers that you would expect would not be tongued around much. The first game in this is Ravi Bopara. Bopara in 2010 was playing for Punjab Kings and in one game he was up against Kolkata Knight Riders. Guess who was playing for KKR at that time? Christopher Henry Gayle. Gayle smashed 4 sixes of Bopara and he didn't help his cause by bowling too many wides. Thus, Bopara went for 33 runs. The next bowler in that list is Parvinder Avana. Avana, playing in the 2014 qualifier for Punjab Kings against Chennai Super Kings, was hit all over the park by Suresh Raina. Raina had raced away to 87 or 25 balls as Chennai Super Kings reached 100 in just 6 overs. But Avana bore the brunt as he was hit for 4 boundaries and a couple of sixes. Needless to say, it was not a great day for Avana, but Punjab Kings won and they reached the final. The assault on Daniel Sams forced us to think which were the most expensive overs that were conceded in all the formats. I am beginning with List A and ODI cricket after the IPL. On top of the list is Willem Ludik. He conceded 43 runs in 1 over during the game between Central Districts and Northern Districts in 2018 during the New Zealand local ODI tournament. It was, needless to say, the most expensive over in the history of limited overs cricket. If I have to look at T20s in general, apart from the IPL, then Scott Styris once smashed 38 runs in 1 over during the English T20 match. Below Ludik, all the other instances are from international cricket. This name is quite obvious, folks. Stan Van Bunga. He was the first bowler to concede 6 sixes in 1 over during the 2007 World Cup. The match was against South Africa and Herschel Gibbs ensured that he had a great place among batters that day. Below Van Bunga, there is one particular instance of the associate nations putting their mark on world cricket. Before the ICC World T20, the USA were taking on Papua New Guinea in Oman. Jaskaran Malhotra, who had emigrated from Punjab and was now playing for the USA, smashed 6 sixes in 1 over, bowled by Papua New Guinea's Gaudi Toka. It was a proud moment for Jaskaran, who had joined Herschel Gibbs, Yuvraj Singh, Gary Sobers and the others in an elite list of 6 hitting machines. Below the Gaudi Toka, Thisara Pereira had once hit 35 runs in 1 over during an ODI against South Africa in 2013. The unlucky bowler on that occasion was Robin Peterson. But Thisara Pereira is not alone. You have the genius called A.B. de Villiers. AB de Villiers in fact hit 34 runs in 1 over bowled by Jason Holder during the 2015 ICC World Cup in Sydney. AB de Villiers was after the West Indies bowlers like no one before him. Before the World Cup, he had hit the fastest century in ODI cricket, and that came against the West Indies. In that match, he hit the fastest 50 and the fastest 100. In this match, he hit the fastest 150. ABD indeed was a genius. Moving on from the List A to ODI cricket, I now move to the pinnacle format, which is Test cricket. Even in Test cricket, you've had bowlers that have been tonged around the park. Robin Peterson once went for 28 runs during the Test match against the West Indies in Johannesburg. Who was the batter who subjected him to that humiliation? It was Brian Charles Lara, the Prince. Even the best Test bowler in the modern generation is not spared of this humiliation. James Anderson, in the Waka Test against Australia in 2013 Ashes, was hit for 28 runs by George Bailey of Australia. It was a sobering moment for Anderson, and England never recovered as they were whitewashed 5-0. Joe Root, the part-timer, was also hit for 28 runs by Keshav Maharaj in the Port Elizabeth Test of 2020. Although South Africa lost the test, it did cast a doubt on whether Root indeed was the off-spinning bowler that he professed that he would be. Even India's name is in the list, folks. Harbhajan Singh, India's premier off-spinner who had taken 413 wickets in over 100 tests, was hit for 27 runs in one test by Shahid Afridi. Afridi was a man on a mission, as he just destroyed Harbhajan. Craig McMillan, the former New Zealand batter and who is now on cricket commentary duties and the batting coach, hit 26 runs in 1 over bowled by Yunus Khan in the 2001 test against Pakistan. Incidentally, in that test match, Yunus Khan had also bowled the fastest over, 6 balls, 30 seconds. Extreme fortunes indeed for the Pakistani bowler, but Craig McMillan will not be complaining. After ODIs and tests and List A, I come to first class cricket. In first class cricket, I will talk about the first name later. Gary Sobers had hit 36 runs in 1 over bowled by Malcolm Nash in 1968 during the county game. It was at Glamorgan. Ravi Shastri, the administrator, Indian coach par excellence, had also hit 36 runs of Tilak Raj in the 1985 Ranji Trophy match. There are contributions by E.B. Halliston and F.C. Hayes in 1911 and 1977 where 34 runs were hit. But my major focus in this is Bert Vance, 1990. No folks, this is not a typo. Bert Vance had conceded 77 runs in 1 over during the Shield Trophy game, which is New Zealand's first class tournament between Wellington and Canterbury. The circumstances were really bizarre, and it deserves a story in itself. Canterbury needed 96 runs in 12 balls to seal an impossible win. Impossible, right? That was until Bert Vance came to bowl. In his near-decade career, Bert Vance had just bowled 36 overs in his career. Safe to say he was not a safe bet with the ball. What followed was carnage, confusion of the highest order. Vance proceeded to bowl 19 balls, out of which there were close to 13 no balls. Lee Germon, the future New Zealand skipper from 1994, hammered 69 runs of Vance. The other bowler, the other batsman at that end, managed only 8 runs. 77 runs had come off the over. But that was not all, folks. The umpires also got the counting wrong. They just counted 5 balls because there were so many no balls in it. On top of that, the scorers had also lost track. The scorers then resorted to asking the crowd as to what had happened. How did you keep track of Vance's over? Without all this knowing, Canterbury came to 18 runs of victory. 17 runs were scored in the final over. The match ended in a draw, but Wellington were declared the winners because of the lead. Imagine one wrong over of Bert Vance and Wellington could have almost lost the title. Safe to say he never bowled again. What does Bert Vance do now? He runs his own clothing line called Vance Vivian. Thank you so much, folks, for watching this video. Do press the like, comment and subscribe button and join Sports Today for more updates and analysis.